An annotated sample event for the 2015 event was put together. And even though that was solar system, and of course a very different event than the Reach for the Stars, it is still a good document for you to go through and read, because in red, written all the way through, is the reasoning behind why those questions were developed, why those specific questions, why this object was put with this one, why this chart was used. It's a good way to become knowledgeable about the process that event supervisors go through to construct these events, because they are not done capriciously, they're not done at the last minute. We take a long time, several months. We go over and over them, making sure that we have covered the content adequately, that we have analysis and synthesis questions that can be done if you have done your job as a team and studied for understanding. And then, of course, we do have, because it is a national competition, those few questions where you really have to know, have a basic understanding of some physics and mathematical principles to do very well on those. There is also, I have mentioned that in 2013, the Reach for the Stars was the content, very similar to this year's 2016 event. And that is posted on the AAVSO website. And this shows you, here are the first 35 questions and the 10 star charts that went with those questions, to give you an idea of the kind of charts they used at nationals and the kinds of questions that are written. This would be all you would have to do is to use this, is to switch out, well, you can't ask the exact same questions because it's slightly different, but writing these same kinds of questions based upon this year's deep sky objects and constellations. These are the 65 questions with the image sets that went along with those, and this will give you an idea of the kinds of images and charts and graphs to put together to ask questions about for this particular event. And this, with the answer key, it can be downloaded from the AAVSO website. So the 2015 annotated state test is on the National Science Olympiad website under Event Supervisors. And we are also putting together, if you are a new event supervisor, you're still not quite sure of yourself, if you think you need assistance in putting together the event, we have put together some sample state, regional, and invitational events, and they will be given to National Science Olympiad. They will release them to state directors, so you can request from your state director one of those events, and they will send it to you, and you can use that, and then you don't have to worry about making one up on your own if you feel like you really do not have the ability to put together a really good event. The Science Olympiad website is a plethora of resources for everybody, for all events actually. The Astronomy Coaches Manual is a 210-page manual that also works very well for the Reach for the Stars event. The store has other resources also, and if you go to that website first and look at everything that's there, I think between that and this presentation and the webinar, I think you'll have all you need to put together a really good event. And again, we will assist you with giving you one if you don't feel like you're quite ready to put that together, or they can't find an event supervisor who's knowledgeable about stellar evolution, and you're filling in just because you're such a neat person, and therefore you can acquire the event. So if you have any questions about the event description and what is allowed and not allowed, you should go to the rules clarification site. National event supervisors are not allowed to answer any questions, so you cannot ask us. It would not be fair, because then every team would not have the answer. That one team might call and have a question, and I'd answer their question, and someone else might have that question, but they didn't ask, and so I've given additional information to one team at the detriment for all the other teams. So if you have a clarification question, You look at the Science Olympiad rules clarification menu, and if someone else has that question, they probably already posted it. When they post the question there, then they ask the event supervisors to give an answer to that, and the event supervisors put together their response, and it's posted on the website. So you can get the answers there. And then, because usually if there is a question, someone has a question about how something is written, no matter how carefully we try to write these things, it doesn't always work as well as we anticipated. So 20 teams will all have the same question. So one answer will be up there on the website for that. So read the event description for the content and the allowable resources. Use the webinars and the PowerPoints for the overview of the content, the focus, the constellations, the stars, and the deep sky objects for this year's event. Access the NSO Event Supervisor website, because there's also information up there about general rules, code of ethics, scoring policies. The one thing you do not want is to have any arbitrations. You do not want a team to lodge a complaint against you because you've done something that's, quote, against the rules or against the event description. So it's good to be as knowledgeable about Science Olympiad and their policies as possible. Use the websites that are listed at the bottom of the event description under recommended resources to get your images and your content from. We try to restrict teams to only very few websites to keep them away from those that might be misleading or confusing or conflicting. And the annotated sample test, again, will give you a detailed description on how to put together the questions based upon the content and the deep sky objects in the event. And then you can use the 2013 test as a guide, again, to putting together your questions and image sets for the Reach for the Stars competition. I also put together the flashcard sets for teams to use. I have been posting those kinds of things, the PowerPoints that go with the webinars, the flashcards for Reach for the Stars or Solar System or Astronomy have been on the AVSO website. We will be moving away from that website. They will within 2 or 3 months, we will not be posting anything on that website, and we'll be taking the website down. But if you go there looking for something that you want and it's not there, it will be on the National Science Olympiad website instead. So good luck. Develop a great event, and maybe I'll see you at Nationals.